Our quest to win the Champions League continues as we enter our third full season with Arsenal. We're going to have an end of season review, we're going to buy some players, we're going to sell some players, hopefully, and then we're going to go again. Welcome to episode 27 of Bottoms Up. This is the end of season review and transfer special. Please leave a like on the video, help push this out to other people. It's always a great jumping on point for anyone that's new to the series. And if you are new, welcome. Hope you're enjoying it. Right, let's get on with the end of season review, as that will be up next for us. And it's been an okay season without being a great season. So here we are. I mean, trophy-wise, it's been amazing, let's be honest. We've won the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Community Shield. The only one that's missing yet again is the Champions League. We're winning everything every season bar the Champions League. That is all that we're waiting on. In terms of new signings, only two to really go through. That's Joshua Chambers, who's got our star signing, 77 million from Wolves, 41 appearances, no goals, but 10 assists from him. He was a really good key player for us in terms of getting assists on that left-hand side. Calvo seemed to score more goals, or scored goals, but Chambers was one that got the assists, and an average rating of 7.07. Mading Ochong from Hava AC for 75 million, 42 appearances, 2 goals, 6 assists at 6.96. 19-year-old wonder kid. He's coming along very nicely indeed. The board, they don't like him. They're very disappointed with the deal to sign him. This is mainly due to the club playing over the odds for the player. Well, tough. I don't care if you don't like it. I do. So there you go. No. Right, players out. Kai Havertz went out for 5 million. Ousmane Diomande went to Manchester United for 55 million. Did they like that? No, they hated that. They were nonplussed about Kai. Gustavo Gonzalez went out for 25 million. They didn't like that. All of their opinion always comes down to finances. So just ignore the board. They're idiots. So they were the players that went out last season. You can have a quick look at those if you like. In terms of the season results, Premier League, we finished first. 60,138 and 99% average home attendance. Nick Jonas-Schmetz was their top goal scorer on 22 goals. They're giving us a B-, even though we won the league by 14 points. Not sure what more they're really wanting from us, but personally, I think that's an A. So that's what it's going to be. Champions League went out in the quarterfinals to Chelsea 5-2 on aggregate. Was that 5-2? No, it's 4-3, wasn't it? 4-3 on aggregate. Then in the FA Cup, we beat Chelsea in the final 5-2. In the Carabao Cup, we beat Tottenham in the final, also knocked Chelsea out in the semi-final. And in the Community Shield, we beat Tottenham in that as well. Moments to remember, the biggest win was in the Champions League, 6-0 against Udinese. A couple of goals for Nwaneri, a couple of goals for Van Persie, Saka and Bruce also on the score sheet. Match to remember was a 5-2 Premier League win against Chelsea. Nwaneri, a couple from Schmetz and Mahara and Saka also on the score sheet. Goal of the season was Kenta Mahara in the 5-2 win against Chelsea in the Premier League. In terms of our revenue, everything's gone down or stayed the same. Sponsorship stayed the same. The broadcast revenue's gone down by about 6 million. Corporate and hospitality has had a small dip. Competition prize money has had a significant dip of around 50 odd million. But Matchdown commercial and retail has gone up ever so slightly. We've sold 82 million in shirt sales, with Mahara, Van Persie, Nwaneri, Saliba and Saka being amongst the key ones there. Our reputation is still worldwide 5 stars. In terms of how we lined up, it's only silver. Now that's unfair because silver's a 7. For me, that should be green. So I'm going to say we've actually got an all green starting 11 here. Restes, Calvo, Pataka, Saliba, Escalada, Silva, Zaya, Emery, Van Persie, Mahara, Saka and Nwaneri. I don't overly disagree with that. Maybe Ochiong would come in here and maybe Chambers there. Maybe Schmetz up there, but it is what it is. No record breakers this season, but in terms of club awards, Lourenco Pataka has won the Fans Player of the Year, average rate of 7.5, 26-year-old attacking fullback. Young Player of the Season is Kenta Mahara on a 7.4. Sign of the Season, Joshua Chambers. Goal of the Season, Kenta Mahara, as we know. Top goal scorer, Shaquille Van Persie with 33 goals. Bukayo Saka with the most assists, 17. Van Persie with the most Player of the Match awards. He's got 9. Lorenzo Pataka with the highest average rating of 7.5 and most passes completed per 90 minutes. Janelle Francis, a 19-year-old centre-back, with 64. I've won several Manager of the Month awards, 4 of them in fact, plus Manager of the Year. History in the making. Arsenal knew what it took to get the job done. They looked imperious in the middle of the season. Arsenal surged to the title after really coming together midway through the season. And there's our list of trophies. Manager timeline is what it is. We're not going to pay too much attention to that. We never do. We'll skip through these parts. Don't really need to know. But we've seen the season review. In terms of supporter profile, that's what that looks like. Supporters' influence on the board is low at 2 stars. Social media followers is now 59.9 million. Then, where is it? Our expectations. Sign players to sell for profit. They're disappointed in that, but it's only favoured. So we don't need to worry too much. So for the 35-36 season, they want us to reach that stage of the Champions League, qualify for the Champions League, and then it's next season they want us to win the Premier League and then carry on. I mean, we're winning it already, so we ain't really got... I'm not worried about them being disappointed in that. We'll accept the vision. Squad dynamics is looking great. End of season team meeting. I mean, Premier Division, congratulations on winning the title. It's a great achievement, but that was the easy part. The job now is to make sure we read. I want to say that, but I think I'm going to upset them if I do. Oh no, they're okay with that. Brilliant, it's just what I wanted to hear. And that's all we're going to talk about for now, because I don't like having team meetings. Then we've got our injury report. Ranieri, the most recognisable name higher up in that. He had 9 injuries. They were all small injuries, but there were 9 injuries nonetheless. Training camp destination. I'm not going to China. Let's go to the USA. It's what Arsenal usually do. And then we'll request that to our inbox. Okay, right. Looking at transfers. For those that don't know, we have already got some transfers already arranged. Kirk Franklin is joining us from Blackburn Rovers. Centre-back, 18-year-old. He looks a pretty decent young talent. He's 6'6" as well. I want to get him involved from a squad perspective quite early. He'll be joining us on the 12th of January, and he's arriving for 15 million, potentially raising to 17.25. Petr Nikolic, essentially he's a left back. That's where I'll be looking at him. He's got 5-star potential. He's joining us for 6 million, I think it is. Really good acceleration, decent pace, can get a cross in. I'm kind of looking at Aurelio Calvo might be moving on and him taking that place. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Then Matteo Gallet, who is an attacking midfielder. He's pretty much one for the future. He's a wonder kid. He's 5 stars, 2.5-star current ability. I'll probably be looking at giving him an opportunity in something like the Carabao Cup, things like that. He just looks a decent player. He's at a decent level already at the age of 18. And the fact he's got 5-star potential, he's joining us for 18 million. And then this guy that we're currently trying for at the moment, 10 million up front, another 20 million in instalments, plays in the centre of the midfield here as a deep line playmaker. He's an 18-year-old wonder kid. Again, he's got 5-star potential. I'm kind of looking at him being Mading Ochong's partner in that part of the midfield, potentially replacing Warren Zaire-Emery, and Zaire-Emery being kind of like a backup option for us, the rotation option. So that's who's looking at coming through at the moment. It does also mean in terms of finances, we've still got at the moment 39, basically 40 million in the bank. That will obviously go down if Bruno Silva signs. We've got a few £100,000 in there. There's players that I would like to move on. So Aurelio Calvo, for example, is one of those players. We bought him in our first season for 65 million from Crystal Palace. If we can kind of get that amount of money back again, I'll be quite happy with that. So we could potentially be looking at moving Calvo on. There's other players like Christopher Calderon who wants to leave and I want him gone. We could potentially be looking at someone like Calderin to leave. Maybe Thiago Silva. It depends on who we get come in for us. But if we have some decent offers, I'm not opposed to moving players on. Even the likes of Saka and Saliba, if we get offers for them, they're not wanted at the moment, but if we get offers, again, I'm not against that option. So I will play forward in the game ever so slightly. I'll come back around the 12th of June when our new signings arrive, and I'll give you an update then on how the squad's looking. So here we are then with our new signings arriving. Bruno Silva, the deal did go through for the 18-year-old wonder kid. 3 stars on the assistant report, 30 million, gets a B-. Kirk Franklin, 15 million, 2 stars on a B. Matteo Gillay, another wonder kid, 18 years old, B-, 2.5 stars. And Petar Nikolic, B-, 2 stars, 6 million. I'm really happy with all of them. Bruno Silva will go straight into our first team squad. Just need to make sure he is in there. Yes, he is. Kirk Franklin, I'll probably move him into our first team squad. If we have a look at that, I mean, he's already got a value of 60 to 70 million. Mathieu Gillay, I will probably, I mean, he's rated of up to 100 million, so I think we need to have him in our first team squad. And Nikolic, he's in our under 21s. We'll probably leave him in our under 20, or yeah, probably leave him in our under 21s for the time being. We have also got an offer for another player, a young goalkeeper, going through. First of all, we'll send all on an intensive language. Well, I don't think Kirk Franklin needs a language course, but let's welcome our new signings. Pataka can welcome one of them. Sure, why not? Durin can welcome another. He'd be happy to do so. Saka can welcome another one. Sure, he can do that. I'll leave it with him. And Bruce can welcome Franklin. Sure, he can do that. I'll leave that with him as well. So that's them players in. In terms of the other one we're going for, Andy O'Brien from Bolton Wanderers. He's 2-star current ability with 5-star potential. He's actually slightly better at the moment than Pablo Enrique. So we might be looking at keeping O'Brien in the team or Enrico. One of the two will stay in the team, and the other one I'm looking at sending out on loan as a first team regular somewhere so they can get regular first team football. And yeah, really happy with that. 3.8 million once the deal goes through. And now I think we need, now that the transfer window's open at least, we need to probably start looking at moving other players on. So if we go with Restes to begin with, we'll ask the agent about market interest. There is interest, watch this space. This says Liverpool are interested, would fit into the starting 11. Okay, that's fine, we'll leave that with him. In terms of anyone else we've got in the squad, we're probably looking at Calvo. I haven't quite made up my mind about him, so I'll wait and see. But Alex Wilson is 22 years old. He's not really going to amount to a great deal. So let's see what interest there is. Watch this space, they say. Nottingham Forest could be interested, but that's only a loan. So I think what we might do is we'll set the intermediary a 30-day deadline on that one. That's Alex Wilson. Cal Durin, I'm looking at moving on. He's 24-year-old Croatian. I'm not sure. I don't think he's homegrown. Oh, no, I want to discuss a new contract. Go away. I want to ask the agent about market interest. Around 26 million. Let's go. Let's get them offers in for him. Christopher Calderon is another one that we're looking at moving on. Newcastle prepared to make an offer. Let's bring them in for it. Who else have we got on here? Joe White. I mean, we're probably keeping for the time being. Janelle France we want to keep. Jack Gordon, we can probably let him leave. So let's ask about market interest. West Brom could be prepared to offer 11 million. Yep, let's say okay to that one. Right, there you go. We've had a bit of a look through. So I will let you know when we have players leaving and potentially what we might have coming in. Right, we've had an offer from Al Ali for William Saliba. Now, the offer originally was 5.5 million, and they also had this as 1.8 million, then 2.5 million after he's played 50 league games. So it come to about what we are now. I think it was something like 11.75 million. I've made some adjustments, turned that to 10 million, that to 2 million, and taken out the after 50 league games because, let's be honest, at the age of 34, I don't think Saliba's playing 50 games, which is kind of around the same kind of price. And I'm thinking if they accept this, then I'll absolutely going to take it. When you consider the youngsters we've got coming through, the fact he's 34, his contract expires next summer, I think that could be a pretty good deal for a veteran centre-back. So I'm going to click suggest terms now, and hopefully it goes green. And it does. So we're about to sell William Saliba, a guy who's made God knows how many league appearances for us over the years. He's actually, I mean, bear in mind, he arrived for 27 million, so it's only a loss of 15 million. And we've had all this years of service from him. So William Saliba looks like he is on his way out of the club. To give you some more updates on transfers, Cal Durin is currently under offer from 4 clubs. Man City and Man United I've rejected. Man City because there is a loan offer. Manchester United because they're Manchester United and they're a rival. We have accepted an offer from Valencia for 19.5 million, but he really wants to go to PSG and they've offered 26 million. So that could be another 26 million on top of the 12 million for Saliba. So that's another 38 million to come in. On top of all that, if we go back to last season, and Jack Gordon completed his transfer to West Brom for 11 million. Christopher Calden has completed his move to Newcastle for 59 million. So that was an extra, 70 million straight away added there. Add on to that the 30 odd million we could be getting coming in. Means our transfer budget is going to go up to about 120 million with a good few £100,000 left in the wage budget as well. If we actually look at Saliba, I'm not sure how much he's earning, but he's on £230,000 a year. So we'll be getting that back as well. And like I say, when you look at our squad, and we have got a bit of a bloated squad, we've got Amir Jusic, who's come back from a loan spell at Rangers last season. He's still rated as a wonder kid, 6'2" centre-back, can play left or right as well. He's going to be in a first-team squad. He's going to be getting appearances this season. Combined with Jusic, we've got Francis, who was here last season, 6'2", centre-back, 19 years old. Looks a real promising player. On top of that, we've also got somebody else. I can't remember who else we got. Where's our other players? Hang on, let me just go to the transfer history. Kirk Franklin as well, who's in our under-21s. Let's bring him into a senior squad. Who else have we got? He's our attacking midfielder who's in our squad anyway. Nikolic is our left back who's in our squad as well. Andy O'Brien's a young goalkeeper. Bruno Silva, yeah. So with Kirk Franklin, Amir Jusic and Janelle Francis as backup to Kayunda and Escalada that we've already got, I actually think we're in a pretty decent place. I think Saliba going is not the worst move in the world, quite honestly. Still looking at trying to get rid of Alex Wilson. People are interested in it, but again, it's only on loan. So see what happens with that. But yeah, I'll come back again shortly when I've got some more information about potential sales and players coming in, because between me and you, and don't tell anyone, I am looking at wanting to bring in a new striker. So just a bit more news. Shaquille Van Persie has signed a new contract. He was on £275,000 a week. He's now on £325,000 a week. But it's a new 4-year deal. Keeps him here till 2039. £75 million contract. Nice if you can earn it. We are getting offers in for players, and not offers I really want. So Thiago Silva, that we've been offered 50 million for him. I have turned it down. His value is 65 million. Match that. We spent 50 million on him, so they're going to have to give us more than what we paid for if they want to take him away from us. We've also been a rumour for Zaire Emery, and I think there's been a rumour. We've had Al Hilal putting an offer for William Saliba, and Barcelona putting a £57 million bid for Mauricio Escalado. Again, when you look at what his valuation is, there's no way I'm letting him go for that amount of money. We spent 90 million on him, so if they're prepared to give us 100 million, I'll consider it. I'm waiting for the players to come to me to tell me they're not happy. If so, we'll agree a fee for them. But yeah, let's just wait and see what happens. But that's the news that we've got so far. And we're about to play our second pre-season friendly. We've played one against Everton and drew 3-3. Not good, not a good start to pre-season. So we brought in the new striker that we want. Nicola Oviedo has come in from a club. I can't remember where he's coming from. We'll have a look in a minute. 21-year-old striker, 19.25 million. 4.5 star in current ability and potential ability. We have agreed to a percentage of profit from next sale of 50%. We're not looking at selling him for a while, let's be quite honest. We'll ask Escalada to welcome him to the club. We'll send him on an intensive language course. We'll do all the squad registration and squad numbers and that later on. But yeah, Oviedo, I mean, look at his acceleration and pace is insane. Along with his agility, his natural fitness, his composure, determination, flair, off the ball, technique, first touch, finishing, dribbling. He can also play out on the right. And he's joined us for 20 million basically, and he's already got a value of up to 130 million. He comes in from River, 20 goals in 22 games last season, 10 in 26 the previous season. He looks a beast. He really does. And I've just said as well, we've actually had an offer for Alex Wilson, which will absolutely accept that. And hopefully he agrees terms with them, because 15 million, I'm very pleased with that amount of money for him. If we go to our tactics screen and scroll down to Oviedo, we can bring him in up there and straight away it's an improvement. Schmetz drops in here. I have at the moment gone with Nwaneri on the right because Saka is in the last year of his contract. He's on £275,000 a week. So I need to make a decision before January when foreign clubs can come in and make bids for him to decide whether or not we keep him at the club or we let him go. Not made up my mind yet. We will soon make up our mind, well, soon enough. Joe White is the next one I'm looking at, thinking might be worth seeing if the agent can generate some market interest. I believe I can bring to the table one or more offers worth around 5.8 million for my client. Okay, let's go for it. If we have a look at the transfer screen, just so I haven't missed anything out. Oh, Andy O'Brien, by the way, is going on loan. I think he's gone on loan to Augsburg, actually. Yeah, there you go. He's gone on loan to Augsburg. Aurelio Calvo has left as well for 48 million, rising to 65. 65 is basically what we paid for him a couple of seasons ago, so it will eventually rise up to 65 million. We'll get our money back on him. Saliba, as you know, has gone along with Durin as well. So in terms of our finances, I mean, the bank balance, we're up to 70 million in the bank. We're spending under 5 million in the wage budget. We've got 146 million pound in the transfer budget. We're having quite the clear out this summer, folks, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Right, I'll see you probably as we're about to kick off. Actually, what I will show you is the schedule and all that sort of stuff. We play Crystal Palace away on the first game of the season. If we have a look at the season preview, we're 11-5 favourites to win the league. Man United second, City third, Chelsea fourth. But yeah, we have a look at our schedule. As you can see, in terms of pre-season friendlies, we had a 3-3 draw against Everton. Since then, a 6-2 win against Tampa Bay Rowdies, a 4-1 win against DC United, a 4-0 win against Miami FC. Then we come back to England and we've had a 3-0 win over Bristol Rovers. We've got Cambridge and PSG still to play. Then the Community Shield against Tottenham, which I won't bother showing you. And then I'll show you the first 2 games of the season in tomorrow's episode, which will be Palace and Leeds. But yeah, I'll probably see you around the 11th of August next, unless there's some big major breaking news coming. Okay, so we had an offer of 99 million for Alistair Bruce come through from Manchester United, and I was so tempted to accept it because 99 million for him would be an insane amount of money. I rejected it, knowing full well that he was going to come back at me because it did say it would take a lot of convincing. So now I'm having a conversation with him. I clicked on the button of what will it take to keep you, and he said to win the Champions League is something all players dream about. If you can convince me we can win it, then I'll be happy to stay at the club. Now, obviously, that's what I want. I want to win the Champions League as well. So I've got 3 options. I can say I think we can achieve that, and I think we can do it this season, provided you stay to help us reach our goals, which basically means if we don't do it this season, he's going to get the major ump. Or I can say, I can promise you that we will achieve that, but I can't promise it will be immediate. Give us another 2 years and we can match your ambitions. Now, that one there, if I say that, I think he's going to say, I can't afford to wait around for 2 years. I mean, he's only 25. The one that's highlighted is to make a promise of, I'm afraid it would be disingenuous of me to promise that we'll win it. What I can guarantee you is that we will at least be challenging for the Champions League, and that you can expect to be reaching the latter stage of the tournament if you stick around. Now, that would be the honest answer. And my nana always used to tell me, honesty is the best policy. So even though I think we should hit that one and just hope that we do it, I think I'm going to do the honest one and hope that honesty is the best policy. We're about to find out if my nana lied to me. This isn't something I can compromise on. I've said what it will take to keep me. So basically, my nana's lied to me. So I'm just going to have to say we can do it. There you go. I'm happy to wait in that case. I'll be asking to leave again if you can't keep your promise, though. Well, to be honest, if we don't win it this year, I may be leaving Arsenal anyway. I haven't made up my mind about that. But, you know, the fact is we need to win the Premier League. So there you go. He's going to be staying. He's happy to stay. And, I mean, to be fair, he's been here his entire career. 99 million would be a ridiculous amount of money. It's much more than what he's worth. But I quite like the lad. I don't want him leaving. So, yeah, he's here for another year. In terms of our pre-season friendlies, by the way, we have just beaten PSG 2-0. Kenta Mahara and Shaquille Van Persie with the goals in that game. Bukayo Saka did pick up an injury in that game. We have Tottenham next in the Community Shield, and then I'll be back to you around the 11th of August for a wrap-up of the transfer special. Okay, so it's match day, it's the 11th of August, and just a few things to bring you up to speed on. This one here, Alex Wilson, he is getting right on my nerves, he really is. We had an offer earlier on in the summer, 15 million from Nottingham Forest, and he rejected it. He's been rejecting other people's as well, like Nice, for example. We've been accepting any loan offers that come with a mandatory fee, but most of them have come with an optional fee or after 30 games or whatever. We've currently now got a bid of 12 million from Colne that he's apparently very interested in. So hopefully he's going to accept that. Or there's a loan until the end of the season with Braga, and that's with a mandatory fee in place as well. Total would be 8.75 million. And also Salento have a mandatory fee in place as well for 8.25 million in total. So hopefully he's going to accept one of them offers and then he will be gone. In terms of our transfer history, Nicolas Oviedo, in terms of when it clicked over to the new season, still remains our only signing. These are the guys that we brought in before the transfer window flicked over to the new season. Obviously ignore Pablo Enrique, but 30 million for Bruno Silva is probably a standout. Then Kirk Franklin, Matteo Gillay, Petr Nikolic and Andy O'Brien, who has now also gone out on loan to Augsburg. So hopefully he will be getting regular football there. He's played the first 2 games, so that's all looking rather nice. On the transfers outside of it, we obviously had Christopher Calderon and Jack Gordon, as we said before. And then since it ticked over to the new campaign, Cal Dewin for 26 million, William Saliba for up to 12.5 million, Aurelio Calvo for up to 65 million. Joe White has gone out to West Brom for 5.75 million. Quite happy with that considering he's out of contract at the end of the summer. And hopefully there'll be around another 5 to 10 million for Alex Wilson as well, which when you look at the finances, £71 million in credit in the bank. I mean, that is a relief compared to how it has been all this time here. We're going to end up with about £150 million transfer budget still to spend before the end of August. If we look at our actual squad and go from the top of our squad down to the bottom, we have a squad of 27, which obviously sounds a lot. In terms of a Premier League squad that we've had to register, there's only about 17, 18 players registered, so we can still bring in more players if we want. Bear in mind, a lot of these are youngsters that it won't be a problem if we have to leave out the likes of Gillay from the Champions League squad, you know, maybe even Kirk Franklin as well. Alex Wilson will hopefully be gone. So, yeah, there's players we can leave out of a Champions League squad that won't make that an issue. And obviously, this guy here, Nicholas Oviedo, if we go to our schedule and have a look at the pre-season friends, we won the Community Shield, by the way, 3-1. Nwaneri, Van Persie and Escalada getting the goals in that game there. It was a nice enough victory. We were the better team by quite some distance, really. But as you can see, Oviedo was 6.2. Didn't have the best of games. And even in the game against PSG, which we won 2-0, he only got 6.5 in that game as well. He's going to need to score in one of the games against Palace or Leeds, or I'm going to start to get very, very nervous. Talking of that, that will be tomorrow's episode against away from home against Crystal Palace and at home against Leeds. Hopefully we'll have news on the Alex Wilson transfer as well, but that will be for tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for the first two games of the new season.